Dr. Shadi, what am I looking for in a home care provider?
So in a home care provider, you obviously want the basics. Are the caregivers background checked? How are they vetted? How are they trained? But I think one of the most overlooked aspects is how is the caregiver being trained on this specific person? So a lot of times when we think about training caregivers, we think about one-time basic orientation, onboarding, but we're not thinking about training for that specific person. So you want to know, is there a care plan that was developed? How was it developed? Is there an assessment that's done, ideally in the home, so someone has a chance to really look at what's happening, look at the environment, meet the person, use all of that information to develop a care plan. And then is the caregiver being trained on that care plan? Because what matters more to me is what are the specific symptoms that this person is showing up with? What are their likes, their dislikes, their triggers? All of that is much more important than, let's say, generally what are the symptoms of dementia, or generally what are some ways to support someone with mobility issues. It really should be highly personal, highly tailored to that person.
I think what I'm hearing you say is that not all people with dementia need the same kind of care or need the same kind of care plan. It doesn't always look the same for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. So you cannot templatize a care plan. There are some basic good practices. So for example, there are techniques like redirection. If someone is really upset, what are some ways that you might be able to redirect them? But that's just your starting point. The care plan really needs to be highly personal to that person. So continuing that example, if I'm thinking about redirection basics, that's something that ideally the caregiver was trained in at orientation. They have a basic understanding of how redirection might work for someone with dementia. But then being trained in the care plan means they know that, let's say, Mrs. Jones really loves to talk about her son. That gives her a lot of pride. It really helps her feel calm. And so if she's upset, if we can find a way to shift the conversation to her son, that will help her feel a little bit more calm in that moment. And those are the pieces that really matter when you're designing good care.